Flight school involves three elements: motivation, motor learning, learning to fly itself, and social learning, learning to stay with the parents. In late July, Millie and Roy sometimes separate. Pie stays with one of them as they forage, and then the other crane will fly back. Pie watches intently as the other parent lands, sometimes even displays, as you see him here displaying as Roy lands. Or one parent may fly across the pond and the other parent follow with the colt swimming across the pond. Swimming is much more trouble than flying. Then fly practices throughout the latter part of July and early part of August, running and flapping, again and again, practice. And finally, Pie has to learn the social cues. He has to learn take off when Roy and Millie lean and purr, and then get into the air properly. And finally, in the air, he has to stay in formation. Pie practices flapping and running for several weeks. Here, on August 2nd, Roy flaps his wings and Pie copies, running and flapping into the wind and gliding for 8 to 10 feet. If you listen carefully, you can hear Pie peeping as he runs. A few seconds later, Pie tries again. On the next day, more practice. He works hard at this. Pie fledged on August 8th. On August 9th, Roy and Millie used intent to fly displays and purring to indicate takeoff to the left. Pie missed the time cue, tried to catch up, didn't make it, and Roy jumps and purrs in frustration. More practice on August 10th. And again on August 11th, more practice with Dad as the coach. On August 13th, Pie made a good takeoff in response to Roy and Millie's intent to fly display and purring. They flew to the right, around, and to the other side of the pond. Then Roy and Millie landed, but Pie got in front and missed the landing cue. He flew directly by them and landed further on. He had to walk back. The parents watched and waited, but eventually, here is Pie between them. He made it. It took a few minutes. On August 16th, Millie and Roy do intent to fly displays and purr. Pie lines up nicely. Roy poops, and then they take off. Still purring as they lift up over the pond. Then turn to go above the trees, and then to the right, and the purring has become now calling back and forth between Roy and Millie as they fly out over the valley. On August 19th, when Roy and Millie purr and give the intent to fly display, Pie poops to show he knows they're going to fly, but then he doesn't pay attention. When they head off to the left, Pie misses the cue, and he heads off to the right. But once in the air, he catches his mistake, follows them across the pond, and up over the trees and into the valley.